Happy Halloween, everybody. We made it. It has been a long month of just doing so many horror movie reviews, but I figured at the end of the month, I just had to go back to my childhood. You might not have expected this, but I had this written down all month long. Let's go back to my childhood nostalgia. Released in the 1990s on Nickelodeon, we are talking Are You Afraid of the Dark? This show would come out on Saturday nights known as Snick on Nickelodeon, and what is funny is I was born in 1999, so I did not grow up with this show, but I do have nostalgia for this show because I had a friend who had the DVD collection of like the first 5 seasons of this show, and he let me borrow it because as a kid, I was just in love with horror movies, scary movies, because I just liked being scared. I liked learning different type of scares. And even though it would scare me, I would like try to find every type of scary movie and especially scary TV shows. Now, I've done this review before, but I was a big fan of the Goosebumps TV show. I have done a review for that show. I read the books when I was younger, and I've made it very clear that those books, like, helped me read when I was little because I loved scary stuff, so I wanted to read Goosebumps. When it comes to Are You Afraid of the Dark, yes, I am a Goosebumps fan first, but this show is clearly another type of version of Goosebumps. Now, I do own this show on Blu-ray, the complete series. I got this at a horror convention where one of the sellers was selling a bunch of Blu-rays. Obviously, you can't get this on Amazon or anywhere else without going to some type of website. But all I can say is, this works, so I can watch the whole show on Blu-ray and have it forever. Love this thing. Now, like I said, I grew up watching the DVDs because my friend, he let me borrow them. I borrowed them multiple times as a kid, and I watched a ton of episodes. Some episodes are scarier than others, and some of them are just downright cheesy. Even as a kid, I was like, yeah, this is really cheesy. And all month long, I've been trying my best to watch all 7 seasons of the show. I did not get to there, unfortunately. But the thing is, some of these episodes are definitely creepy. Like, I'll give them credit. So, I will say this. The one that everyone talks about is, of course, the season 5 finale is a vampire episode, which, if you do not know, I am a huge vampire fan. This is honestly a creepy episode. This is a genuine creepy episode. I can completely understand why season 5 was the cancellation of the show, even though it came back for season 6, because this episode apparently was so scary, parents actually called Nickelodeon and were like, that can't be shown on my TV. No, sir. So they pulled the show apparently, waited a couple years, and I think it was 1999 or 2000 is when season 6 came out, and it's very well known that season 6 and 7 are just not as good. Now, I have not seen the newer show that came out on Nickelodeon a couple years ago. I think it got canceled after 1 or 2 seasons, so let me know down in the comments, is it even worthy of me watching? Because I'm a fan of this show, the original. If the new one's version, I don't care for. But I will say the new Goosebumps show wasn't terrible. Okay, so getting back to Are You Afraid of the Dark, yes, the season 5 finale is one of those episodes. It's pretty scary. It's honestly really well done, how scary it is, and I give it all the credit in the world. But I will go over the 3 episodes that I found the scariest because, again, we're all subjected to horror movies and horror shows, so let's just go through it. I will go in the order of like finding out which one I found the scariest. The first one we're going to talk about is Tale of the Midnight Mass. This one's very easy to say why it was pretty scary for me, because I was one of those kids that watched the SpongeBob episode with Nosferatu, and I was like, yeah, I don't like that, because I found it kind of creepy. So this episode is basically, I mean, it's Nosferatu coming out of a movie theater screen and trying to kill these kids. It's just the look of him. Honestly, as a kid, I didn't like it. You're going to find a very semblance to why I'm scared of like pure white figures. Like as a kid, I was petrified of The Ring. I was terrified of The Grudge. I didn't like anything with like long black hair crawling at you. And this is a vampire with big wide eyes, messed up teeth, coming out of the screen, pointing its fingers at these kids. I didn't like that at all as a kid, okay? So that episode was one of those episodes I just did not like. No, sir. I will admit, watching it today, it is cheesy, okay? I will admit that. It's a very cheesy episode. But now these two episodes, they gave me the creeps. So we're going to talk about Tale of the Dead Man's Float. I genuinely think the creature design in this episode is just creepy. Okay, so I'm showing footage as I talk, but if you saw this image as a kid, that freaking thing, I mean, come on. That is terrifying. Like, what? You can't tell me that is not at least creepy to you. And first things first, the makeup effects on that thing, great freaking job, Nickelodeon. Holy crap. Like, that should not be that good for this show. Like, that is genuinely more creepy than, like, most things you see in any kid's show ever. Goosebumps, this show, or anything else that came out in the 90s. But, like, the whole setting of this, from the pool, his coming out, raising on him, the noise he makes, this creature is just defining horror, in my opinion. And for this to be a TV kid program, I mean, come on, that is terrifying in my opinion. So that was one episode when I watched as a kid. It definitely scarred me. Like, that image gave me nightmares. But there is one thing that scared me a little bit more. I know what I just showed you might be a little creepy, but the last thing I gotta say is Tale of the Lonely Ghost. All right, so like I said, as a kid, I was petrified of The Grudge and The Ring. I did not like white little girls with long black hair. Pause. That came out really wrong, but you know what I mean. Ghostly figures, basically. And I just didn't like it, okay? I used to be petrified of that kind of stuff. My sister would do that crap all the time to me, putting her hair in front of her and, like, wearing a white, like, dress and walking around the house like this. It scared me. And to this day, it still kind of creeps me out, okay? So I'm one of those babies that kind of just find that scary. And I know a lot of people are like, that is the most generic, scary thing ever. I'm so over it. Depending how it's done, it can creep me out, man. I don't like women covering their faces with long black hair and white and just walking. So this episode of The Lonely Ghost is basically this girl goes inside this old house and the words "help me" are written, and there is this mirror, and just watch. I know some of you are laughing, and I get it. You're like, Jacob, you're a pussy. Like, grow up. That's not scary at all. And you're right. Like, okay, I get it. But horror, it's subjective. We get scared over different things. As a kid, that image of her in that mirror, looking at her, scared me. I'm talking nightmares for weeks, for months, for years, and that sometimes when I was left home alone and at nighttime I would like watch TV in the living room, I would walk back to my room in the dark because I'm an idiot, and I would look at one of my outside windows and imagine seeing that little girl out in my street staring at me. That right there, to me, my own mind is scaring me. That creeps me out right there. It just creeped me out, okay? And I know it's very generic, but man, how it was done and how the end how this episode really shows that like this other character gets put in this mirror and is like, hey, if you're good to me, I'll let you out. Being trapped in a mirror is already scary. I mean, I've never been trapped in a mirror, but the thought of it with this little girl, ewy. So overall, there are 7 seasons of Are You Afraid of Dark, and a lot of it definitely is outdated, okay? So you watch it today, you're gonna be like, Jacob, this is not scary. But this is nostalgia for me. I loved watching just Halloween stuff. Every time there was a normal show and they did like a Halloween special, it was always my favorite episode because I love just how spooky and nostalgia it is, and like a lot of that stuff was probably filmed on real film, and like the grunge of it, like I love watching that stuff. I love it to death, man. And so with this show, Midnight Society of just these kids gathering around a campfire, throwing pixie dust into a fire and telling ghost stories. Like that's the definition of Halloween, if you ask me. Just ghostly, scary stories. And that's what the show whole was. It was just telling scary stories. And I loved it, man. I loved it. And I know a lot of people might say, I love this show way more than Goosebumps. I'm always going to be a Goosebumps kid. I read the books. I love that freaking show to death. That was on Cartoon Network. This was on Nickelodeon. But I didn't even watch the show on Nickelodeon. I watched it on like regular DVDs that my friend had as a young kid. So I'm always a Goosebumps fan, but I really do love watching Are You Afraid of the Dark? And with that said, that is the end of Halloween reviews for 2025. This has been a lot of fun, okay? I gotta admit that. But this has also been a lot of work, especially with how many movies are coming out in October. So I am reviewing this a lot earlier than Halloween Day, so I can't wait for the actual Halloween day. But I hope you guys are having a great day. Tell me all about what you did during Halloween. What horror movie did you watch? What movie has been your favorite horror movie since you were a kid? What's your favorite horror TV show? Goosebumps? Are You Afraid of the Dark? Name something else. But that is the end of 2025 Halloween reviews. Of course, I will come back next year. Maybe not as hard, just going to admit that, but I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. Please have a safe and spooky Halloween day, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.